After 2 unforgettable weeks in the Nevada desert, it was time to move on. Roger dropped us off at the bus station and we boarded the bus to Las Vegas airport. And just like that, another chapter was over. About 10 days earlier, we had no idea where we'd be. Now, we were flying to Mexico. The funny thing is, Mexico wasn't really part of some grand plan. In fact, we only booked the flights because traveling through the United States was becoming too expensive for our budget. But sometimes, the best decisions are the unexpected ones. And after landing in Cancun, the first thing we noticed was a temperature. Winter was starting in America. Mexico felt like summer. That evening, we went out for our first real Mexican meal. Quesadillas and burritos, and for the first time in weeks, we didn't feel like every meal was draining our bank account. Then, just before midnight, we booked a tour for the next morning. And the alarm went off at 3:45 a.m. At 4:30, we stood waiting for our bus. At 5, nothing. At 5:30, still nothing. By 6:20 a.m., the bus finally arrived. Apparently, everyone else had received a message that was delayed. We hadn't. After a quick nap on the bus, I woke up to our guide explaining where we were heading. Chichén Itzá, one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Built by the Maya more than 1,000 years ago, it was once one of the most important cities in the region. Standing in front of El Castillo, the famous pyramid, it's hard to imagine how they built something so precise without modern technology. And then there was the ancient ball court, a game known as Pok-ta-Pok. Even today, it's hard to understand how the players managed some of the shots they were required to make. It was fascinating, the kind of place that reminds you how much history existed long before us. After visiting a cenote and exploring Valladolid, we eventually returned to Cancun, completely exhausted. The next few days were slower. We traveled to Playa del Carmen, walked through the heat carrying far too much luggage. We spent time at the beach, explored the town, and for the first time since arriving in America, we allowed ourselves to slow down. No race, no deadlines, no work, just travel. From there, we continued south to Tulum, another beautiful beach town. Another place that made us wonder if we should stay longer. But while we were there, something exciting happened. A phone call. Our next workaway host had accepted us. An American family, 3 children, deep in the jungle of Belize. And suddenly, our next adventure became real. Before leaving Tulum, we visited the ancient ruins overlooking the Caribbean Sea, one of the few Maya sites built directly on the coast. Standing on those cliffs, looking out over the turquoise water, it felt like the perfect goodbye to Tulum. Then we moved further south, to Bacalar, a place famous for its crystal clear lagoon. And honestly, it might have been one of the most beautiful places we visited in Mexico. We spent our days swimming, relaxing and enjoying a pace of life that felt almost impossible back home. In the evenings, the town came alive. Music, dancing, festivals, families gathering together. The kind of atmosphere that makes you want to stay just one more day. Eventually, we reached Chichén, a final stop before crossing the border. We spent our last days enjoying Mexican food, exploring the town and preparing for what came next. Because after Mexico, everything was about to change again. The next morning, we would cross into Belize, and waiting for us there was a month in the jungle with a family we'd never met before. That adventure begins in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you don't want to miss anything from our adventures. See you in the next one.